I'm gonna tell y'all's a little story about how and who I lost my virginity to. So it's gonna be gross. She was older than me. I was actually 17 when I lost my virginity. She was 22 years old. And not a girlfriend or anything, just a neighbor girl. 22-year-old neighbor girl. She lived with her uncle next door. Who knows what was going on there? She must have been damaged because one day I was walking by and she goes, "You know what? I'm gonna make you a man." And I was like, "Okay, lady." And she was older and had expectations on the whole deal. So she was like, "All right, you gotta get a hotel room." And I'm like, "Cool, well, now we gotta get my mom involved in this project because I don't have a credit card." And luckily I come from great white trash roots. Like my mom was like, "Oh, here you go." She gave me a credit card. And I booked a room at a Holiday Inn. And I remember I said I come from garbage. My mom loves her boys. She thinks she's gonna deny me? That's sweet, sweet. Can't let your mom block. Where the did you guys grow up? Me and this girl end up in a hotel, and we walk in the room, and I remember I was very nervous, and she was pouring me like this wine into a plastic cup, and I'm a kid, so I'm like, "This is bitter," and she's like, "Drink it." I'm like, and she had a boombox. Yeah, with the Enigma CD playing. Do you remember Enigma by any chance? It's like chanty dance music. It's terrifying in this capacity. I'm already nervous. I got this wine that I don't want. I can't see anything, and just blaring in the room. It's like, oh, he, oh, She goes, "Take off your clothes." And I was just all very like rape victim-y about it. I remember like, "Here, just now?" And I got naked. I thought we were gonna start having sex. I thought that's how it all worked. But she was 22. She knew what she was doing, and she just took over, and she pushed me down the bed, and she started kissing down my body, which is hilarious, because I'm 17, I'm naked, I'm fat, I have no beard. I look like a giant fat baby. That's how I looked. And she was kissing like, mwah, 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 and I was like, And then she started sucking my and I was like, I like this part. I thought she was gonna keep doing that, but she didn't. She started doing some pro moves I wasn't quite ready for. She holds up my dick, starts licking my balls, doing a little crowd work, if you will. And here is what I learned about my balls that night. And I can't speak for all the balls, but these balls, ticklish. And I wanted her to stop. But I didn't want her to stop everything, so I'm just trying not to laugh through the ball licking part. But it's hard because she was licking my balls hilariously. Hilariously. She was licking them and vibrating them with her mouth and saying the word balls, which is a weird thing to do. She was like, ball-la-las, ball-lo-lo-za, zaz. And then she did something that nobody should ever do, unannounced to a virgin. She went lower than the balls. You get what I'm saying? Lower than the balls. Los Angeles, Mexico. In layman's terms, she touched her tongue to my butthole, and that, too much for me. Too much, I was a virgin. In one explosion of life, I laughed out loud, peed one squirt, and farted in her face. That's how it ended. Ha-ha, pss, burn. Whoops. Whoops. I said whoops. And whoops doesn't cover that. Whoops is like I knocked over your beer or we bumped shoulders. Oh, hey, man, whoops. Then I tried to be positive. I was like, you know what? She probably won't even smell it, honestly. That was right in the chops. But she did smell it. And when a woman smells your fart and you don't want her to, you panic. You start thinking too quick. You have terrible ideas. I tried to yell over the smell. I remember thinking that's all I had to offer was volume. She's like, what's that smell? I'm like, what smell? Who? Open a window if you smell. And then I put on a condom, and I remember faking an orgasm. I didn't even finish the first time. But she continued to have sex with me for several months after that. And I remember she moved back home with her parents in a different town in South Jersey. Now, I'm Jewish. I'm only mentioning that for the next part of the story. It never seems to come up anywhere in my life that I would have to give a shit. But I pull up to this house, and she comes running out, and she goes, oh my God, I almost forgot that you're Jewish, and it's a weird thing. I'm so sorry. I should have warned you about this. And we walk into her house. Her father's a Nazi sympathizer. And I mean, it looks like Edward Norton's bedroom in American History X. There's big Nazi flags and like a skull with like a knife in the it's crazy shit. Continued to plow this chick for a while. And then I really got faced with it. He ordered pizza once, and I remember sitting at the table. I had my moment where he goes, man, a pizza costs $18 now. That's because the Jew bastards own all the fucking banks. And I was just holding pizza, and I was like, I heard that, dude. And I started eating pizza. You gotta understand, it's the small victories. 5 minutes later, I was up banging his daughter to Forrest Gump soundtrack or something. You're welcome for the boners, everybody. Thank you so much.